Welcome to CiviliZthan, your self-preparation guide for UPSC. In this video, we would like to explain you how to study the polity for UPSC. Many of us have doubt like polity is such a big book and how to study it in parts, and probably you will be getting only 10 to 12 questions, and how to read this book in the right way so as to get the maximum mark. So in this video, we will talk about that. Polity is a really essential subject and you have to learn it from an application point of view. Just if you see the book, it is around 700 pages I guess, and this polity book, if you are planning to read it by heart, and if you are planning to read it the way you read your normal textbook in schools and colleges, this is really going to be an important task. So always read it from an application point of view and learn it in a different methodology so that you can remember the things. The thing is, you have to remember what happens when and how this is going to apply. It will help not only in solving your prelims but also your mains. If you prepare it in the rational way, you can write it for your mains also. Just by hearting the things, you will be able to solve only your prelims, that too only some particular part and not all the sections of your polity. For solving all the sections of your polity, you need understanding and not by hearting. So see the live examples going on in the country, be it a Supreme Court judgment or an important parliamentary or state assembly event. Like, we have added the examples from last year's prelims paper for you guys to understand better, and with that you can prepare for the polity in the right way. See, these are some tips before we move on. The first unit of Lakshmikant needs to be by heart. So that first unit consists of your origin of constitution and important provisions of constitutions and fundamental rights, fundamental duties and directive principles of state policies. So you have to have this basic by heart. Okay, you know what is Article 14, what is Article 15, what is Article 17, what is 25. You need to have a basic understanding and clarity with these things, and definitely there will be 1 to 2 questions from that. There is no doubt about it. And the balance, you have to link it with the current affairs and study. Balance in the sense, the president, what is the parliament is, what is parliamentary committees, what are the powers of the speaker, what are the powers of a whip. So these kind of things, you have to link it with your current affairs. You don't want to go randomly and you will get lost, because it is such a vast subject and you should have a guiding stone for you to reach safer to the other end. Understand the rationale rather than mugging up the book. Fine, you should understand, like, when you're learning the current affairs, suppose if you remember what happened in the Karnataka State Assembly last month. Karnataka State Assembly, there was a big issue, and you can link it with the speaker's role in a state assembly, like how the speaker stopped the whole process of voting, right? Polity should be evolved in such a way, and we will show you the examples how UPSC frames the questions also. See, this question is taken from last year's prelims paper. In this question, it is a combination of your history, which is post-independence. Nowadays you should learn that also. Just pre-independence is not sufficient for you to complete this exam. Post-independence and your current affairs and your polity, all these 3 things put together make this single question. So you should be aware of all the 3. See, the 44th Amendment to the Constitution of India introduced an article placing the election of Prime Minister beyond judicial review. You should know what is the 44th Amendment, why this amendment was brought in, and when this happened, and what are the effects of this amendment. So only when you read post-independence India, you will be able to know all these stuff, and you can know whether this is a right statement or not. And this is a recent current affair which happened almost 2 years back, I guess. So the Supreme Court of India struck down the 99th Amendment to the Constitution of India as being violative of independence of judiciary. So this talks about National Judicial Appointments Committee, which was struck down by the Supreme Court itself, as it feels that its liberty is being taken out by the government. So this happened 2 years back, but it can also be taken under current affairs, or you can take it under history. So you should know what are the provisions of amendment, and whether a Supreme Court can strike down its amendment. That all comes under the basics of polity. So you should know these question is a combination of all these three subjects. So this is how the polity question is asked nowadays. And the same, one more example for history, current affairs and polity. See, this question was in the last year's prelims as well. The motion to impeach a judge of the Supreme Court of India cannot be rejected by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha as per the Judges Act 1968. The Constitution of India defines and gives details of what constitutes incapacity and proved misbehavior of the judges of the Supreme Court of India. The details of the process of impeachment of the judges of the Supreme Court of India are given in the Judges Act 1968. If the motion for the impeachment of a judge is taken up for voting, the law requires the motion to be backed by each house of the parliament and supported by a majority of total membership of the house and by not less than 2/3 of the total membership of that house present and voting. So this is your basics. The fourth statement is your basics. If you had learned unit which consists of the Supreme Court and its judges, you will be able to answer this. But what about these things? These are the judgments. These are the judgments. So you should have an idea about the history, your current affairs and your basics polity, so as to answer a polity question. Here is another example which has more emphasis on the current affairs part. You can directly link it with the last year's current affairs. See the word Office of Prophet. Office of Prophet was in use for almost last 1 year, I guess. It all started with the disqualification of 21 MLAs of Delhi, right? And it was under the president's consideration for a very long time. Though they can't ask regarding that directly, this question is about Office of Prophet. So this is a current affair based one, and you should always grasp these kind of things from the news and then dig a little bit deeper into it with your basics and your knowledge of history. And this is how this should be done. Here the current affairs part is more, because it is what we have seen in news directly, right? Now what are the things which are in news recently, like the power of Parliament to suspend Article 370, the Speaker's power when it comes to the Karnataka State Assembly, the power of governors, these kind of things which are in news. You have to dig a little bit deeper and see these kind of questions. These kind of questions still comes, and this is a combination of history and basics. This is a combination of just basics alone. Earlier they used to ask only these kind of questions more. Under which schedule of the Constitution of India can transfer the tribal land to a private party for mining to be declared null and void? So these are basic questions. Only if you know which schedule talks about which, you will be able to answer this question. Earlier the questions were like this, and nowadays the questions are a bit of history and current affairs based, application oriented ones. So evolve yourself and prepare it in the right way. See, this one is the 9th schedule was introduced in the Constitution of India during the Prime Ministership of Dash. So this is, you should have an understanding of what is 9th schedule, and when you know what is 9th schedule, then you will understand what time it could have come. You know the order, right? Jawaharlal Nehru was the first, so it couldn't have come at the time of Indira Gandhi or Moraji Desai. So by elimination also you can solve it, but the probability will be less. So you should have an understanding of post-independence India more nowadays in order to solve your polity paper. How to learn the polity the right way. Mere mugging up of articles and provisions is not sufficient to solve or get more marks in this polity. You need to have an application based approach and be open and see what's happening around you in the country, be it the judgments of a high court or Supreme Court, be it what's happening in the parliament, be it what is happening in the state assemblies, their budgets, be it an important thing happening in an organizational level, be it the CBI, be it the Competition Commission, be it Niti Aayog. All those things which are happening around you, you should be updated. Link them all with your basics and prepare in the right way. So if so and so thing is happening in a state assembly, You just see what are the provisions for that, how can that happen, what is the requirement, what is the constitutional requirement for such a thing to happen, what are the judgments given on those particular things. Like if you talk about the disqualification of MLAs, learn about the judgments which have been given by the Supreme Court of India regarding the disqualification of MLAs or MPs. So practice more MCQs when it comes to polity, because it is the trickiest of all. Even a small alteration in the question or a mere adding of a word or sentence will change the whole meaning of it, and you will be put in desperate trouble. You will be thinking that it is right, but it would have been definitely wrong. If you understand polity, this is the easiest subject to score, and if you merely mug it up, this is going to be a toughest one. So understand polity in the right way and follow these steps. Know the basics, link it with your current affairs, and have some more knowledge of the post-independence India, and definitely you will be able to crack these 10 to 12 questions easily. Give you 20 plus marks, right? So 20 plus marks in the prelims is a very big score, and you can easily score it just by learning the polity in the right way. So all the best and prepare well for your upcoming prelims. So before you leave, share this thing with your friends and subscribe to this channel and like this video if at all you find it informative. Thank you for giving your valuable time, and meet you in another video. Goodbye and cheers.